Let's talk about Canon lenses, past and present. This is a Canon EOS 5 and it is 25 years old, and I've had it since I was a student, and I bought it in 1994. It is a film camera and therefore technically a full frame camera. It has the old EF lenses, which means electrofocus, and back in '94 this was actually a ultrasonic lens, which means it has a built-in ultrasonic motor inside the lens, which made it very fast at focusing. I think it was the fastest autofocus on the market at the time. Okay, I had that since I was a student in '94, and I used it for over a decade, maybe 15 years, and it was really great. I love that camera. But of course, digital cameras superseded film cameras. Don't think many people use film anymore. So, of course, you move on to digital. This is a Canon EOS 1300D, and it's about a year old, and it has the APS-C sensor, and the C of course stands for cropped, which means it has about 2.5 times less surface area of sensor than a full frame camera. And the lenses are generally EFS, which means electrofocus short focal length or small focal area. The EFS lenses, you can tell them by the white square dot, which you use to line up on the camera body. You can see that there's a white square dot and a red dot, and the red dot is for the old EF lenses, of course, which you can see on the old Canon EOS 5 film camera. And when you take this off, you can see that there is only a red dot, denoting that you can only attach EF lenses to this type of body. And you can see that they line up to make it fit. So the best thing about these old EF lenses is that they can be used on modern Canon DSLR lenses, which is really great news. I didn't know it until recently. So you can see that the lenses have the same electrical contacts, even though they're 25 years apart, and that means that all of the functionality of the lens works: the autofocus, the auto iris. So that's fantastic news. You can see that the EFS lens has a deeper projecting rear part of the lens, so that means they won't fit onto the older camera. But the EF lens will fit onto the modern camera body because it has a red spot and a white square spot, which means it can take both kinds of lenses. So we just line up the red spot, and you've got a perfectly working lens that is able to be used on the modern DSLR cameras, even though it's 25 years old. There is one thing to remember though with these lenses. There is a crop factor for the smaller sensor, and that means that this 20mm lens on the modern DSLR will have a different focal length. And there is a 1.6 crop factor, which means if you multiply the 20mm by the 1.6 crop factor, that means that the 20mm lens will have a focal length of 32mm, which is 20mm times 1.6 equals 32mm. I have a 300mm lens here, 75 to 300 EF lens. So it has the red spot. So when you put that onto the modern camera, it means that the 300 times 1.6 equals 480mm. So you actually get a much longer telephoto lens, which helps you to get closer to the action. So there is an advantage in that point. So just to show that the autofocus works, the autofocus on the old EF lens set onto the modern DSLR body. Let's have a look through the lens, and you can see it focusing quite happily there. So there you go, a great little addition to my collection of lenses to use with my DSLR. So I personally think that's really great news, that you don't have to throw away your old lenses or sell them. You can definitely use them on the modern DSLR cameras with the smaller sensors, the APS-C, which stands for Advanced Photo System Cropped. So it was just something that I learned recently and made me pleasantly surprised that I can still use my old lenses, not forgetting that you have to recalibrate because of the crop factor of 1.6 for the Canon smaller sensor. But if that's not an issue, that's fine. It makes all of your lenses a little bit longer, so you get overall better telephoto lenses from all of your lenses that you use on the modern DSLR. So I just wanted to share that with everyone in case nobody knew that. I'm very happy. Thanks for watching.